Cowboys blood. Let's go.
Oh my God, the quarterback is toast. Hit it again. Hit it again.
Let's go.
Hit it again. Hit it again. Oh my God, the quarterback is toast. Hit it again.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's show, the Frisco Report in full effect. Week 2 is in the bag, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat box watching this live around the world and watching it on the replay or listening to it on our audio podcast, which can be found in iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. All right, guys. Got my trusty co-host here, Mike from Cowboys Corner. What's going on, bro?
What's up, Joe? What's up, dude? Lots to talk about, man. Lots to talk about. Let's not keep these guys waiting.
Yeah, lots to talk about, man. We are onward to the Giants. You know, focus has turned to the Giants, but we do have to talk about where we're at right now. We're talking about, the Cowboys going from potentially 0-2 and, having a 90% chance of not making the playoffs to going 1-1, keeping all hopes alive in the division and playoff aspirations. Now, I know a lot of guys out there are thinking, what playoffs? There's no way. This sorts of things. I mean, including myself. Mike, I want to know, how does this win, and everybody in the chat box, how does this win affect how you feel the Cowboys are going to do this season? Are we back? Is it a one-time deal, or what's your thought, Mike?
No, I think I don't think it's a one-time deal. I think Cooper Rush can stack wins, Joe. But I mean, you look at the NFC period as a whole. I think there's going to be an NFC team that's going to have a 10-7 record that's not going to be able to make the playoffs. Just if you look at the standings in the NFC period, and you look at those, and you look at these teams, I think there's going to be a winning team, 10-7 record that's not going to be in the playoff bracket. So every game counts. It doesn't matter if it's a long season. It don't matter if it's just week 3. It's already week 3, Joe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In less than a week, we're going to be playing these Giants week 3. Every game matters. I think in order to get into that playoff bracket, you need at least 11 wins. We got 10 more wins to go, and we got to find it.
I think you hit it right on the head, Mike. I think that is the magic number. 11 to clinch, 10, maybe, wild card. But that's when you start needing help, right? That's when you're one of these sucky kind of teams where you need help to get in. You don't want to be one of these teams that, I need help. Help me to get in. Like, that's sucky, dude. That's not championship football. So we don't want to be that. All right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't want to crush everybody. I want to smash everybody into the ground. And the defense can definitely do it, Mike. Let's talk about this defense. They are not letting people score. I love it. And it's just field goals. You know what I mean? And Micah Parsons, what can you say about Micah Parsons? The Lion of Lions, the king of the jungle. I mean, leading the league in sacks. So this guy is unstoppable, Mike.
No, I like it. And kudos to Dan Quinn for making this guy so accessible on the defense, lining up on a nose tackle, lining up at left end, right end, playing traditional linebacker, playing man coverage. I mean, when all the Von Miller talk happened, and they're like, you can go get you a one-generational player. We already got the guy. His name's Micah Parsons, right? I get it. The Von Miller and all those guys and the people we could have had Von. They forget that we have a guy named Micah Parsons. I mean, the dude is unblockable. He's a pure leader. He did not go on Undisputed and talk football with Shannon Sharp and with Skip Bayless. I don't care if he committed to it. I don't care if his publicist put it on his social media. I don't care about any of that. We need a leader on this defense. We've been talking about a leader on this defense. If you hold anything about credibility to Micah Parsons not appearing on Undisputed, you should stub your toe, and I hope it hurts, right? Because none of that matters. What matters is what he does on the football field and how he leads this defense, and this guy is a pure leader.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's really stepped up. For many years it was like, can D-Law be the leader? Can he be? D-Law is a very, very good, complement to a leader, which we didn't have, but now we do. And I think everybody complements each other. Everybody's getting their share of the feast. You know what I mean? So even Dorrance Armstrong's out here making plays, Mike. But kind of to go back here for Cooper Rush, Mike. As far as can he get enough wins, we still kind of don't really know when Dak Prescott's going to come back. It's supposedly 4 weeks, So in that window, Mike, what is the magic number for Cooper Rush wins? What does the record need to be by the time Dak comes back?
The record needs to be 3-1.
3-1, and then that'll be week
3 and
5?
2. Excuse me, 3 and 2.
So we're talking week 6, right? When Dak can come back, possibly.
Yeah, he comes back against the Eagles.
That's the earliest scenario, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3-2. I think that's possible. Right now, we're sitting at 1-1. We got the Giants obviously coming up next, Mike. I think they're undefeated. They definitely have a lot going for them right now. But it's Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? Micah Parsons. I cannot wait to see this because he's going to be under duress, throwing interceptions left and right. I think in this game we're going to see Trayvon Diggs feast as well. He's come kind of close. He's this close, right? I think the secondary is going to get after it, and Micah Parsons, I think it's going to be a good game, Mike. I think it's going to be a very good game, but I think the Cowboys will remain competitive. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, dude. You look at the Giants. They're 2-0. You got to give them credit where credit's due. It's very hard to do, and they're doing good. They're doing good. They got 330 rushing yards total since week 1. 150 rushing yards a game. Can the interior, Joe? Can the interior shut down Saquon and their running committee? Right, that's going to be a big factor. If you can shut that down, you get to Danny no dimes. I really think that you can have a shot at not letting them score any touchdown. Cowboys only gave up 2 touchdowns, a touchdown in each game on the defense. The rest are field goals. Right? So I really think that if we can hold these guys on the running game, and they have to force them to pass. But we also, on the offense side of the ball, Joe, we have to be able to put up those points. We have to be able to score in each quarter. Okay, Kellen Moore can't come in here and stumble from the second and third quarter and then finally want to wake up. This guy needs a game plan from one quarter to the end of the fourth because you have to be able to put up points against this Giants, especially if your defense is going to hold these guys to field goals, which they're capable of doing. Because you don't want to get these guys tired. Every time a touchdown happened on the defense, they were exhausted, they were gassed, they were tired. Keep the defense fresh. We can shut out these guys. And I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key in this game. Turnovers, obviously whoever has more turnovers. A Space Cowboy in the house. Shout out to Space Cowboy, man.
Space Cowboy.
One of my favorite guys there. Make sure you guys follow him on YouTube there. Giants have given up 8 sacks in 2 games, and Barkley has like 40% of his yards on 2 runs. That's awesome. It's good for us because the Cowboys have proven that they can take advantage of these teams that are not very good up front, right? So that offensive line for me is still suspect for the Giants. It's young, it's kind of inexperienced, and they got some busted players there. So I like our chances here. You know what I mean, Mike? And then I think with what you saw out of Fowler, I think he finally showed up here. Hopefully he can take that momentum into this next game there with Micah. You know what I mean? Sam Williams, he had a
Sam
good play
Williams.
there.
Yeah.
He popped off there. I like that. I think these young guys, as the season continues, they're only going to get better, Mike. So I love that stat line there. Thank you, Space Cowboy, for that one there. Mike, attacking the Giants defense, okay? Cooper Rush, the rapport there with Noah Brown is very apparent, right? I mean, running the practice squad, for a couple of seasons now, he's got that big rapport there with Noah Brown. During the game, I jokingly said that, is Noah Brown your number one receiver? But, isn't it good for him to have this rapport now, and then hopefully CeeDee Lamb can continue to work off of last week? You know what I mean? I think CeeDee Lamb had a good amount of catches, 7 catches, 75 yards. It just didn't feel number one-ish still to me. So I still want to see him take over a game, okay? But if he can't, Noah Brown seems very capable of making some splash plays for us, Mike. So, like the receivers, but what is going on with the wide receivers, Mike? We just cut Dennis Houston. They're hoping to bring him back to the practice squad. Looks like Fehoko will be in here. But what is going on here with the wide receivers? What's going on?
John Ridgeway got cut, and he got picked up by the Commanders. Dennis Houston, I'll be surprised if the Cowboys are able to sign him to the practice squad because there's so much potential there. There's so much potential there in Dennis Houston. I didn't like the move, but, there's good news coming out of it potentially. I thought Dak and Dennis Houston had a real good rapport. He's made some catches. His route running's fine. He just needs more time. But you look at Dan Skipper. He's now a Lion, got his first start in the National Football League in 6 seasons. And you look how well he's done. You look at Danny Amendola's career, right? I don't want, John Ridgeway becoming a star name and he was on the Cowboys first. I don't want Dennis Houston becoming a star name and he was once a Dallas Cowboy. So, Cowboys, they got to do a better job of making these decisions. I wish it was Simi Fehoko who got cut and not Dennis Houston, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, and it goes back to the Cowboys being very low to their draft picks, right, Mike? I mean, yes. I know Fehoko was like, what was Fehoko? A 5th?
6th round pick.
6th, something like that?
Yep.
Ridgeway, 5th rounder. Didn't show crap in the preseason. I mean, it is what it is. You're only as good as your last production. Nothing there. But, there's the production.
Michael Jackson's another one. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of these guys that just need a little bit more time for them to get under their feet, man. And for the Cowboys, we want to win right now. We don't have time to develop players, but the Cowboys, they're all about drafting and developing. So, they corner themselves into these types of situations. So here we are, wide receiver, kind of, juggling things around here, cutting people here, moving people here. Noah Brown. I mean, I want to. Hopefully when Michael Gallup comes back, Mike, and then this looks like it's getting pretty close. You know what I mean? He hasn't been ruled out yet for this game against the Giants as far as I've seen so far. But, it's kind of sounding more like it'll be maybe the week after possibly is maybe when they bring him back, Mike. But I think when they get Gallup back in here, this should settle down the room. I think then is when you're going to see CeeDee look more like the old CeeDee right now. So much is on him right now that I think there's a little much some pressure on him. You know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on that?
No, the Bengals played a lot of man coverage, right, last week. So they really don't have they didn't have a lot of confidence going in there thinking, okay, we can't let 88 beat us just like Tampa Bay did. Tampa Bay was triple covered in CeeDee Lamb. Then you get a whole bunch of one-on-man coverage, maybe a spy up top on CeeDee Lamb where you get your double coverage. But I didn't see a lot of triple coverage, double coverage on CeeDee Lamb. It was all man coverage, right? He made some catches when he was supposed to, but I don't know if he's getting man coverage and he ain't getting hit, it means he ain't getting open, which tells me he can't beat man, Joe. I need CeeDee Lamb to dig down deep inside and find confidence. I think CeeDee Lamb's lacking confidence than he is lacking Michael Gallup or James Washington on this football team, because the way he was moping around week 1, Joe, I didn't like it, right? Some of the looks in his eyes, I didn't like it. He needs to dig down deep and find some confidence and show why he fell to the Cowboys in the first round and why the Dallas Cowboys drafted him in the first round. Again, I'm not going to bring up the number. He wanted to wear 10. They should have let him wear 10.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I think that's a huge thing, Mike. Yes.
Yeah. And so I think I don't know. CeeDee Lamb just needs to wake up, man. He needs to wake up.
I mean, it's kind of looking like it is what it is. Is he just going to be, a very good receiver and not great upper echelon elite? You know what I mean? And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. But for what the Cowboys fans and what we want, we want that Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant type of guy, a dog out there who can take over a game, right? So we'll see, and I think that this will come together. As long as we can. Steal a couple of these games with Cooper Rush, Mike, and I think the defense is really going to be. Maybe at the end of the season, we're looking at this like, man, the defense really carried this team, and right now it looks like it is, Mike. Right? Like, I mean, you got everybody's making plays out here. LVE looks great to me. You got Micah Parsons sacking all over the place, right? Even Dorrance is out here. Sam Williams, like I said, made that play, but the secondary. Mike, Trayvon Diggs, how to make a big tackle when he did. He looked a little Deion Sanders-ish throughout the game, but when they needed to get it done, he got it done, Mike. And Donovan Wilson, Mike, making pretty big plays here. I think with Donovan Wilson, Mike, we talk about his durability. I love how he's playing right now in place of Jaron Kearse. So get that out of him. Let's see how long it can last. But he's playing outstanding to me as well, Mike. What's your thoughts on Donovan Wilson?
No, Donovan Wilson, health has been the issue with him. And I'm sure he has a chip on his shoulder. I think this is his last year as a Cowboy. They got Malik Hooker on here. They got Jaron Kearse. They kept Marquise Bell on this football team. That there's a lot of pieces not going his way. And so he has to be able to either play for his next contract or play to stay right here on the Dallas Cowboys. And I think he's doing an excellent job. He just has to stay healthy. That's been his notch in the belt, Joe. Unhealthy, unavailable. That's what it is. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at right now with the receivers, guys. What will they do? What they do? Will they keep going with what they got? Is Michael Gallup going to be that the turning point here for the team, for the wide receiver room? I think it is. James Washington, I'm not really considering him to be a big impact, but I mean he does have some credible numbers. He's got starter reps, touchdowns in his league, so don't want to sleep on that. But I think at the end of the day, Mike, I think we're going to look back at this season and be like, when we're talking about draft coverage 2023, wide receiver is going to be on the top of that list. You know what I mean? It will. It'll be. First 3 rounds, I think wide receiver is going to be there. Are we going to get the first appearance of Jalen Tolbert, our 3rd round pick, who's been inactive for 2 games straight, Mike? What is your prediction? Is this starting to annoy the hell out of you?
It is. It is. I mean, them getting rid of Ridgeway and, sitting Sam Williams, sitting Jalen Tolbert. Was this draft a bust, Joe? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't they get these players? They opened up the press conference at training camp talking about you have to invest early. Your younger guys have to be able to step up because they're going to be the focal point at the start of the season. But you can't tell me that in the same breath when you got Sam Williams on the bench, when you got Jalen Tolbert on the bench, right? It makes zero sense. They always put their foot, Joe, in their mouths because they don't ever make any sense. Jalen Tolbert, you can get reps in practice, but any football player will tell you in game it matters. Hell, Cooper Rush will tell you in game it matters. Those are the real reps. That's where I did this on this route in real time. I should have cleaned this up. I should have done that. They're failing Jalen Tolbert, and it's time for someone to start talking about it. And right here on the Frisco Report, we will talk about it.
Yeah, it is. It's very concerning. Those you think about the first 3 rounds. These are guys that are contribute, right? Your first rounder, you expect him contributing right out the gate. Second rounder as well. Third rounder, maybe he's a rotational guy, possibly, but you still expect your third rounder to be active and participate. So It is annoying me as well. I'm very annoyed by it, because he was out there with Dak in the wide receiver summit in Florida, so he's been working with Dak through this whole process. You know what I mean? And in the mini camp, early in training camp, everything looked hunky dory, right? So it looked pretty good. So time to get him going. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Great commentary going on there. If you guys got questions, go ahead and shoot them. We'll get to some Q&A here, Mike. Next thing we want to talk about, Mike, is the stock watch. All right. We know that the stock market is volatile. We're going to bring it here to the Cowboys roster. Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down, Mike? Who is number one in your mind as far as the stock is up on this player? Who's that player in your mind?
Matt Forniak. I'm being dead serious. And I'm not going to say Cooper Rush. I'm not going to say the easy stuff. I'm going to give you an unrated player right here named Matt Forniak, number 68, playing in for Connor McGovern at the left guard position. I really like his play style. Cowboys, later round draft picks, offensive linemen, bench them, let them develop, let them beef up. I get that. But wide receivers, they got to go out there and play. But how the way they develop Matt Forniak, I absolutely love it. And he's coming in there right next to Tyler Smith, and I'm loving what both of them are doing. Are they going to mess up? Absolutely. But it's that real-time playoff knowledge that you can actually get what that Jalen Tolbert needs. What Matt Forniak and Tyler Smith is doing on the left side of the ball is just unbelievable. Stock up, Joe, is on Matt Forniak.
Yeah, I love that one there because, I mean, you're seeing the guys running to that side. We saw Pollard and Zeke and everybody. So it's no longer predictability where we're just running behind Zach now. Now we can run to the left. We can run to the right. That's less predictability there. I think that's why we are having some success here in the running game. We're no longer predictable. Wow, they're going to run behind Zach. This is good. This is good for us.
I mean, Tony Romo even said, "I can't believe the push they're doing on the Cincinnati defense." Tony Romo said he couldn't believe it. How young they are, the amount of push they're getting. Tony Romo right on the head.
Yeah, I think that's a good one there. It's definitely they're looking physical up there up front. Getting things done there. My stock up watch is going to be Tyler Smith, first round pick. There was a lot of projection, a lot of on paper. Oh, he can do it. I think he can do it. Maybe he can do it. And now we see him through 2 games. He's doing it. And to me, he's doing it well. You know what I mean? So now you're going to get into the conversation as far as like maybe you're a week or 2 away from Peters being ready, football ready. What do you do with him? Do you want to break this continuity here that you have with Smith on the left tackle? Do you want to keep developing him here? Because I think a lot of us know Tyron Smith is done. We don't want to go through this bull crap again next season. So, I think you could be looking at your present and future starter at left tackle, Mike. So the question now becomes with Jason Peters, where do you put him? Does he just stay as a swing backup kind of guy? What's your thought, Mike?
He needs to stay as a swing backup kind of guy. Last year, Joe, I think we had anywhere between 10 to 12 offensive line rotations, and that got us nowhere. I mean, it got us into the playoffs, but Dak was still uncomfortable, right? And with Dak sitting now, able to watch film with Cooper Rush, you can see, hey, if I get the ball out just this much faster, I'm going to be okay, right? If I can, if Cooper Rush can do this, I know I can do it. So as long as Dak is able to watch the film and learn how fast Cooper Rush gets that ball out, etc., takes chances on one-on-ones, know how to read one-on-ones, right? I think Dak Prescott and this offensive line will have some continuity, Joe, and Dak will be able to be comfortable. And that's all we need Dak to be is comfortable. He holds the ball too long. He's always scrambling, things of that nature. So as long as this, I want this offensive line attacked. I want Peters as a swing tackle backup guy, period.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting conversation, and it's going to be one that'll be, one of these hot topics once it does happen, if it does happen. Because I agree with everything you're saying, but there's going to be that other side of the fan base that's like, no, let's let the old man over here left tackle. There's going to be that side of the fan base, to be expected, right?
Yeah.
But very interesting. It's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? So that I do like that. I love good problems. So Mike, another stock up for me is going to be this player here, and I'm talking about no one else but Noah Brown. All right. I mean, what can you say? He's out here making the plays. He's been given the opportunity here, and he's been. I think he's truly one of these draft and develop stories, right? Like there were times early in his career where he got cut, got saved in the practice squad, got re-elevated. Now here he is, starter role, and making huge, huge plays for this offense so far. So stock up for me on Noah Brown, Mike.
No, I like that. I do like that. I think, year 6, Noah Brown. What I love about what Noah Brown did with Cooper Rush, and it was no surprise that Cooper Rush and Noah Brown have chemistry. They're always on the second team throwing. They're always on the scout team. So they have a lot of chemistry. It's no surprise to me that Cooper Rush and Noah Brown have this chemistry, right? It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But it's great. It's a great surprise if you are surprised. But I like that he killed the narrative that CeeDee Lamb is the only wide receiver that's had a touchdown on this football team. That narrative, Joe, may it rest in peace. We got 2 wide receivers, dang it, that has a touchdown right here on this football team. And that's our first one of the year to say that. So I really think Noah Brown was a real good one.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how defenses now play Noah Brown. Like, we kind of have to pay attention to this guy now. Will this help CeeDee Lamb now? Maybe he's going to get less double teams because of this, and opens the door for him. So maybe we're going to see that here. I love that. I think it's something good to have. You definitely need him, and I think when you get Gallup back, I like that 3-headed beast right there. You know what I mean? I think it's good enough. It's good enough to get you through the season. I would still look to upgrade in the offseason, but right now, shout out to him, man. He's making the plays there, and that's all you can ask for. Stock down, Mike. Who is your one player or whichever player? Well, I mean, we could have a couple here, but what is a player that comes to mind? Stock down.
I might get some hate for this, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I come on here and I'm honest with you regardless. My stock down, Joe, is Ezekiel Elliott. So seriously, he I get the theory. It's lightning and it's thunder. I get it, right? But sometimes Zeke, man, on those 3-yard runs, he just looks slow. He doesn't have that. He don't have any burst to get to the second level. Have we even seen him get to the second level? Like those 8-yard runs are just fine, but show me a 10+ yard. Show me a 15-yard run. I can't get that out of Ezekiel Elliott, Joe. I really believe this is going to be his last year as a Dallas Cowboy. And for me, Joe, his stock is way down.
That's an interesting take. You know what I mean? And I think when you look at it objectively, which we do here, I think there's something to that. You know what I mean? Like you're not seeing an Aaron Jones type of guy who gets the ball and breaks it for, long distance, right? Zeke is just, at this stage of his career, those long breakaway runs, they're just not there. You know what I mean? Those are more of like a Tony Pollard kind of guy. But, you know what I mean? I think there's something to be said about that. He does a lot of the dirty work, obviously. He's great. Number one, A1, pass protection. But, you got to keep moving the ball. I think he's been okay, but I definitely see your point there, Mike. Definitely do. So that's an interesting one there for me. Stock down for me, Mike, is going to be Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator. I think that, yes, we got the win here, but I think we're still struggling here for the full game. And this is just like a small sample of what he is in the whole season, because it always seems like starts out hot in the beginning of the season and fizzles at the end of the year. Now we're looking at it game per game. Starts out the first half good, runs out of plays. We're kind of sputtering. Thumbs down still, man. And I know we got the win, but he's got to do better, man. He's got to do better. You can't be tossing Zeke the ball when that toss should go to Pollard, who's got more speed. You know what I mean? You can't do that play. Zeke is the in between, the center guard guy up the middle. He's not a toss guy, pitch guy. Stupid play, right, Mike? So I can't stand that with him. It just seems like he gets he just runs out of it, right? Oh, the scripted plays. We're moving the ball, touchdown, field goal, and then the half comes out. I don't know what to do. Shit, man. Like it does get kind of scary for me, man. And I think in the close games is when this guy's gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? So, a thumbs down for me still for Kellen Moore. I just don't like him as a coordinator, man. You know what I'm talking about, Mike? You talk about back in the '90s, whenever the Cowboys. They were looking for that coordinator, the final piece to get it over the hump. They brought in Norv Turner, turned everything around. Right now, that's where we're at. We need that offensive coordinator that could come in here and turn this thing around. It's not Moore. He sucks.
No, he sucks. And then, it's so funny how, Marvel said bad take on Zeke, corner Mike. He's only had 15 touches. My stock down is Zeke. Your stock down is Kellen Moore. We look at that 3-play series where they ran the ball to Zeke. They ran the ball to Zeke. He's only picked up 4 yards. Then they try to do a flat to him, and Zeke didn't even catch the ball. So bad play calling by Kellen Moore, disastrous plays by Zeke on that series, right? So that's where I stand with that, Marvel.
And that's what it is. He doesn't put the best players in position to succeed. You know what I mean? Like we know that Zeke is not a pitch toss running back anymore. I don't know if he ever was. Maybe his rookie year, but not right now. He's got the bum knee.
This stage in his career.
Like you said, Mike, the burst is not. That's a Tony Pollard play. He should know better than that. So that's what I'm saying. Kellen Moore is he's a disaster, bro. And we'll see what Mike McCarthy, if he's able to. You know what I mean? I think Mike McCarthy is handcuffed by the Joneses here, especially Jerry. That's Jerry's little boy there. So you know what I mean? Which is sad, Mike. Stock up, Mike. Brett Money Maher, he's back, bro. Is he back? To make these long field goals, I loved it because I was like, can he do it? He did it. Clutched out that last one, and stock up for me right now. Brett Maher, our kicker. I definitely have more confidence in Maher than I did with Zerline. If Zerline would have lined up in these games, I'm counting them as misses. He was terrible. Zerline was terrible, bro.
No, you got a point there. See, the problem with Brett Maher and his track record was he hit, 360-yarders in one season, and that's why his jersey got into the Hall of Fame. So Jason Garrett would put this guy in 55-yard field goals, 56, 57, 58, 60, right? And expected this man to make them. When Brett Maher left for the Dallas Cowboys, we were tired of him because he was missing these things because the offense that Kellen Moore is running couldn't get us a first down on their side of the field. So it really wasn't Brett Maher's fault. I call this the redemption game for Brett Maher with the star on his helmet. Is he going to miss an extra point? He might. Is he going to miss a 40-yard field goal? He might. But what I seen from a 54-yard field goal and a 50-yard field goal, I seen a guy drill it. Now, did he almost miss the game winner? He got too far to the right, but he nailed it, right? He knows how big that post is. He knows how he has to kick it. So you're right, Joe. I have more faith in Maher than I do in Zerline. I like that. I can 100% agree with that.
Beautiful conversation, Mike. Beautiful conversation. I love the takes that you and I have. Sometimes we're in agreement and sometimes we're not, and that's fine. It's what makes this show great. And I love the conversation here in the chat box, guys. If you have some questions, we do have time here to do some Q&A. I love answering questions from you guys. So does Mike. So guys, you guys put out some Q&As for us. What do you want to ask us? What do you want to know about this team right now? shoot those in the chat box, and we'll start getting some of those answered here. All right, guys. Who's
Yeah.
going to be the first one here to shoot us a Q&A here? Let's
While
see.
While we're waiting on a first question, Robert, he's here on my side of the screen here. His birthday's coming up October 2nd. He said, "Hey, if Cooper Rush beats the Bengals, you got to give me a birthday video." So, guys, on October 2nd, mark your calendars. I'm going to be giving Robert a birthday video, and I want everybody in the comment section to wish Robert a happy birthday as well.
Shout out to him. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday indeed. 805 Vaughn with the super chat, $4.99. Appreciate you.
Ice cold.
Got the ice cold emoji. I love it. Here we go. Good old Dallas in the house. What plays do you want to see 88 run early to get him involved? What do you want to see out of him, Mike, early?
I want to see some quick slants, some jab and goes. I do like the play that they do when a corner is going to play 10 yards off and they throw him the ball real quick. I like that. He needs some type of rhythm. And Cooper Rush is capable of 1-2, bam, he has the football. And CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush, they got to get on that page. It can happen. I mean, we're talking about a first rounder out of Oklahoma who was a stud, right? And we're talking about Cooper Rush, backup quarterback, who's 2-0 in the National Football League. You can't tell me they can't get on the same page. They have to get on the same page. I think they will get on the same page. But quick slants, some jab and goes. Find a soft spot in the middle like they did with Noah Brown on the 4th and 2 on the first drive, right? Find me something like that to get CeeDee Lamb going.
Yeah, I think that's his bread and butter. Those slants, I think in the slot, you know what I mean? I think that's still his bread and butter. So I agree, man. Get his confidence up. Design those plays for him. You know, they're talking about these.
He don't need Larry Gallup. He needs confidence.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Definitely, that's what it is. Because some of those concentration drops, I think some of that's a little bit of that as well. Let's see what else we got here, guys. Keep those questions coming in. Here we go. Here, I got this one here. Soup Trap in the house. Why? Okay. Do you know why LV is starting over Cox? Honestly, I think Cox is. I think they're bringing him along slowly. You know what I mean? I think that he will be activated here soon. But the roster's pretty deep. You know what I mean? So that's why we're seeing some of these inactivations. But eventually, you can keep him off there. But I think this is more of a bringing him along. If it's not that, then yeah, I think there's a question there. But I sure would like to see Jabril the Steel Cox put it to Daniel Jones yet again. You remember that play? Daniel Jones try to get it in there. He got slapped around. I loved it, bro. That was one of my favorite highlights. It's actually in the videos at the very end here when we start up the the stream. It's one of my favorite plays. So yeah, I think that's what it is, Soup Trap. I mean, hopefully that is what it is. Hopefully it's not nothing else. Hopefully it's not any political business going on behind the scenes. But with these Cowboys, you just never know. You know what I mean? They got their favorites. Let's see what we got here. What other questions and comments do you have here in the house?
No, I think, you look at, just to touch on that question for Soup Trap, who got banned on Twitter for saying Jerry Jones needed a throat punch. I thought that was hilarious. I seen him put that in the comment section. But to touch base on that, right, we know Anthony Barr has an injury history. We know LV has an injury history. We know Cox is coming off the torn ACL. So working them back in easy, knowing guys are going to be injured potentially, it's good. It's good reassurance.
Absolutely. Eric Montoya, what's going on, bro? Good to see you in the chat box. Just showing you guys some love. The $10 super chat, man. I appreciate you, Eric. I know I see you in here a lot in the chat box. Do appreciate the support, bro. Do very much indeed appreciate your support, Eric Montoya. Go Cowboys! Let's go, baby.
Yeah, Eric Montoya is a big supporter. I always see him right here on the Frisco Report. I always see him on your stream when you're doing them solo or with Foot. So appreciate you, Eric Montoya.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for showing love there. The Lunatic. I thought LVE would be Green Dot, but my second choice was Malik Hooker, who showed he deserved it on Sunday. Your thoughts? Yeah, I thought that was interesting, right? But I also think it lets these guys really just get after it. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Green Dot, I think it is better for a secondary player, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do. So, for me, a safety to have that, and we know in a Dan Quinn system, he relies so much on that safety. Like, it's always been one of his staples, one of his, big things for the defense. So for Malik Hooker to have that, thumbs up there, man. I like how he's been playing, and I really think that with LVE and Micah Parsons, just able to move around and make plays, tackles all over the place. Mike, but what's your thoughts on this one?
Now you look at Dan Quinn's track record since he's been a Dallas Cowboy. It usually starts with the linebacker, and then Ron Curse kind of took that over. Then it goes back to LVE, then it goes back to Malik Hooker. So you kind of see this track record. It's always going to be a linebacker or a safety. That's just what Dan Quinn does.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it myself. I think it just lets these guys concentrate, your linebackers and, get going. And I think for the safeties, they're further back. They can really scan the field even better than the linebackers. So get everybody lined up. Malik Hooker comes from a good program. I love it, man. Good question, The Lunatic. Appreciate you, bro. Other questions and comments? Keep them coming, guys. Let's see what else we got in here.
805 has a good one there at the very bottom. I don't know if you can see that.
I saw Primetime had one here. Primetime Phil. Let me see if I can find your question, bro. Where'd it go? Let me see if I can find your question. Here we go. Primetime Phil in the house. Make sure you hit up my bro Primetime Phil. He's got a great YouTube channel up here covering the Cowboys. Do you think Houston releases?
Yes, he really does have a great YouTube channel with great content. Opinions with him. I love it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, Primetime Phil, I do. I think it's definitely going to be related to Tolbert or Gallup. You know what I mean? I'm not so sure it's related to Peters. Not yet, I don't think. But it's definitely, I think, probably one of your receivers here. You know what I mean? Tolbert, hopefully he gets out there. He's got to be out there by this point, man. It's time. Time to get going. What's your thoughts, Mike, on here?
No, it's time. You got to see what you have in this third-round pick. He needs to play. Does Michael Gallup come back? Who knows? I know he's been practicing with pads and doing walkthroughs and things of that nature. I think they feel confident with Lamb and Noah Brown there. Michael Gallup coming back will help tremendously, but you got to see what – I mean, that's why it took Noah Brown so long to get a touchdown. He was behind guys like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson. That's why he's never had a touchdown, because there was a lot of depth in front of him that was just really damn good. So I don't want Jalen Tolbert to be a waste of talent. He needs to showcase what he has, and he needs to do it now. The Cowboys need to make that happen.
Yeah, great question, Primetime Phil. I think we're all kind of on the same page as far as what that is, and hopefully that is what it is, right? I mean, third round pick. I mean, he's either gonna know how to play or not. You know what I mean? If he comes out here and stinks it up, well then, you gotta start the drawing board yet again. You know what I mean? And these draft classes, if we're being quite honest and objective, they've been missing a little bit on these second and third round picks. You know what I mean?
Dude, that is so funny. Ryan Doyle said, if I had a guess, Joe Rod was a fullback in high school and Mike was a linebacker in high school. That's hilarious. Were you a fullback?
Yeah. No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was more of a defensive end, but we played a 3-4 scheme. So I was a stand-up linebacker, kind of like what DeMarcus Ware was when he was a first Cowboy, and what Micah Parsons is. I did that. So damn good guess. That's hilarious.
Ryan Doyle, great call, bro. How did you figure that out? I don't know. Great. I mean, that's amazing.
How did you know that? That's
right, bro. That's pretty cool, man. I gotta say. Here we go. Here's another good question. Appreciate that, Ryan. Appreciate you, bro. JC Cowboys Network. Where do you think Micah plays this week? More linebacker to shadow Saquon Barkley? What do you think they do here with Micah this week, Mike?
I don't think you got to shadow Saquon. I think you got to know where he's at all times, and everybody shadows and rally to the ball. Kind of like how Sean Lee always talked about how you got to tackle Marshawn Lynch. It's kind of like how you got to tackle Saquon. He has the Barry Sanders shift and speed, and he can cut on a dime. We got to eliminate that. We got to be able to wrap this guy up, wrap him up firmly, and get him on the ground. If you don't, he will dice you. I mean, he'll dice you like a tomato. You have to be able to tackle him.
You got to. And the Cowboys defense, they've done it, man. And I think on top of what you're saying there, Mike, I think hit him. Let him feel that ground, let him feel the turf, whatever the hell, because, he's kind of fragile. You know what I mean? You hit him hard enough, you push him out of bounds, maybe he gets up gimpy, and then that's it. But, yeah, you definitely got to keep on top of him, man, because he's had a good start here under Brian Daboll's offensive scheme, and I think they're scheming him up pretty good. But for Micah, I think just let him do what he's doing right now. I don't think you want to specifically game plan or waste him as a spy. I think you use that for your secondary guys. You know what I mean? If you want to do that, because those guys are pretty good tacklers. You know what I mean? They're pretty physical. So Cowboys are going to have to match that intensity, and I think they will. Coming out here. I mean, it's going to be a primetime game. All right, Mike? That's Monday Night Football?
Yep, it is.
So we're going to have
805 said, can you guys elaborate on Diggs? He got the best. He got the beat, of course, but I feel like he's clamping down more than trying to make interceptions. Can you find that one, Joe?
Let's see where that one's at. Trying to find that one.
I think that's a good one. Talking about Trayvon Diggs, old Trayvon.
What's the handle?
805 Vaughn.
Oh yeah, 805 Vaughn. Let me see. Let's see if I can find him there.
Can you guys?
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. Can you guys elaborate on Diggs? He's got beat, of course, but I feel like he's clamping down more than trying to make interceptions. Yeah. 805 on, I think that, he's definitely, I mean, like all these guys get beat, but he hasn't gotten beat like Ramsey got torched, right, with the Bills. I think he's been getting burnt this year. Diggs, I think he's doing his thing, man. I think he's on his way to another Pro Bowl type of season because, I mean, he's locking it down. You know what I mean? I think when he was on Chase, he had like 2 catches for like 14 yards, something like that. Chase is regarded as one of the best, up and coming wide receivers in the league right now. And Diggs was like, not on me. He ain't gonna do crap on me. So I love it, Mike. What's your thoughts on Diggs here?
No, I like it. There's all the talk about he's getting burned in training camp, all these joint practices. He looks burnt. I think he was practicing some technique because some of the stuff that he was doing that they were putting on film, I think he was like hip swinging and trying to look for the ball facing one way. I think he was techniquing on these joint practices, right, with the Broncos and with the Chargers. So Trayvon Diggs is definitely playing a lot of technique here. Interceptions, what he did hasn't been done for a long, long time, right? So they're going to come, and they're going to come in bunches. So just give them some time. Those interceptions will come, and they'll be game-changing interceptions. Write that down. They'll be game-changing interceptions.
Yeah. No, I think it's coming, man. Like I said earlier, he's been close. He's been close to jumping some routes. And Daniel Jones, kind of notorious for turning the ball over too, man. So
Danny no dimes.
Definitely see it. Here's another Parsons-related question here. Soup Trap. Are we going to see Parsons more exclusively defensive end? You could see the frustration with Brady when Quinn finally switched Micah to end from linebacker. Parsons can break the sack record full-time defensive end.
No.
I think they're just going to keep using him how they use him. You know what I mean? I think if it's working, just keep it going. And I think with the addition of Anthony Barr, I think that allows him to roam around as that lion You know what I mean? And get after the prey, which is the linebacker, the quarterback. So yeah, I think just keep doing what they're doing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But that's just my opinion. But what's gonna be interesting, Soup Trap, is when it comes down to the money. Defensive ends, are they going to tag him as a defensive end, or are they going to tag him as a linebacker? His camp is going to want to get tagged at the defensive end because that money is significantly higher than the linebacker tag. So, but that's further down the road. But that's going to be interesting. Mike, what's your thoughts here on this?
Oh, they're going to pay him Von Miller money all day long with a little extra interest. No, man, you got to keep Micah Parsons what he's doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The guy, let him line over a nose, let him line up left in, right in, let him play traditional linebacker. This is a once in a generational player. All right, don't handicap him to one spot. Let him move around.
That's a great point. I mean, like I said in my video last night, he's the use of elite has been kind of watered down over the years. Oh, he's elite. This guy is elite. No, Micah Parsons really is the definition of an elite defensive player. You know what I mean? So
the relentlessness, the grit, the speed, the bend, the hands, the strength.
Yeah,
99 overall. He's a 100th overall.
It is. He should be like the first ever 100 rating in Madden, but they're haters, bro. Right? The game like an 88 rating or some lame crap like that.
Let them. It's more fuel for the Lion.
Yeah. The lunatic Fowler and Anthony Barr barely played versus Tampa Bay, but had many more snaps versus Cincinnati. What do you think the reason they played more in week 2, Mike?
Oh, Anthony Barr came in late, right? So he was probably still learning the system. Dan Quinn was still trying to feel where he fits. Fowler, I don't know what happened there. I thought Fowler had a fantastic preseason in the game that he did play. And then I was expecting to see Fowler week 1, and we didn't. Same thing with Sam Williams, right? So Anthony Barr, I think, coming in late, still learning playbooks. Dan Quinn trying to plug and play. Yes, he had some preseason, but talking about Anthony Barr and Fowler, they both had preseason. But I really think Dan Quinn wanted to play this guy right because this guy is a legend in Minnesota, right? He's coming into a new team, first time in his career. So ease him in. I think they did the right thing. And he's been playing very good. I was a big fan of Anthony Barr coming out of that draft. So real good to see him playing good.
No, I think you hit it right on the head, Mike. I think it is more about easing those two guys in. You know, Fowler was very effective, batting down passes, getting in the passing lane, jumping up, getting the sack. You know what I mean? He looks like the player that Dan Quinn wanted. And he looked the part there. Anthony Barr. Dang, I did it too, Mike. Anthony Barr had a really good game, I thought, and it really lets, like I said, Parsons do what he does because now you've got a very capable linebacker in these sub packages to do some of the duties that maybe Parsons would be doing, but you have him over here gobbling up sacks, beating the crap out of Lyle Collins. Oh, I taught Micah. No, Micah taught you. He owned you, bro. He owned you, Lyle.
See, Tyron Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence or DeMarcus Ware was like the perfect generational suit, right? The iron, when we talk about iron sharpens iron, that was the definition of Ware and Tyron Smith sharpening that iron. I think Micah Parsons and Tyler Smith, I think they can do the same thing. We could be looking at two great players.
Very. I think it's a great combo to have. The defense is just, like you said, Mike, iron sharpens iron, right? You got to strike when the iron's hot. This defense is championship level defense. You know,
all day, Joe.
If you can just get this offense just to get some points, get a couple of touchdowns here, and give the defense a couple of breathers here, you might be able to make some noise here. There's gonna be some ugly games, but I feel like as a Cowboys fan, you're kind of used to it by now. You know what I mean? We're always in these slugfest. I like this one here. MNZ Gomez. Joe, do you think Deron Bland can cover better as a nickel slot DB over Jordan Lewis? I think right now you got to go with the vet right now with Jordan Lewis. I mean, he when he gets hot, he can have some games where he takes over. He's had a couple of games in his career where it was like we won this because of Jordan Lewis here with the ceiling of a game with an interception, a game sealing interception, recovery, fumble, this sorts of thing. But that's not to say Deron Bland can be that. I think Deron Bland is definitely in the future of the Cowboys, and it's going to be soon. But I think right now, I think you're going to keep rolling with Jordan Lewis. Mike, what's your thoughts on this? This is a great question.
No, that's a really good question, right? So we at the beginning of the show, we talked about developing players. As well as Deron Bland did, it's kind of like Matt Forniak, right? You just kind of want to just set him aside, let him develop. Anthony Brown probably ain't going to be here much longer. Jordan Lewis probably ain't going to be here much longer. So Deron Bland is going to have to be able to trust this system here and learn from these guys. These guys are getting live reps that Deron Bland gets to watch on tape. And, okay, I get that. Okay, I get this, right? So I don't want to rush anybody back, especially a rookie. We've seen Trayvon Diggs. Yes, he had a couple of interceptions. He got hurt. But Trayvon Diggs almost looked like a bust, right? I mean, Morris Claiborne struggled. So take the right approach here. And I think the Cowboys are doing it right. I don't want to rush them in. If you got a dime package, let him get some experience with the dime package, but don't rush him in.
Yeah, I think it's a great. He's definitely the future. So I think you hit it right on the head there, Mike. Very good take there. Turbulence like he's getting a feel for the home run TD return. I think so too, man. I think you see it. It's going to happen soon. It's going to happen real soon. Hopefully, it'll happen Monday night.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. On Turpin, week one, I thought he really put the offense in crappy field position, taking it out on the kick return. I thought this week against these Bengals was a lot better. And the hidden yards, Joe, and the hidden yards. That's okay to let the ball go over your head and the offense start to 25. I thought Turpin did a better job managing that than what he did on week one.
Oh, for sure. Week two, definitely night and day. Yeah, I think those jitters kind of got to him. You know what I mean? Yeah, being the USFL MVP, going to the NFL, there's still going to be those butterflies. I think he shook that off. Now, like you said, he's got a feel for the game. Popped off a little bit here in this second game, third game. It's going to happen. So, and when it does, I'm going to be loving the hell out of it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. Great conversation in the chat box. Super great questions from you guys. As usual, we can't do this without you, and we do this for you guys as well. So shout out to everybody that watched us here tonight live, and if you catch it on the replay. Guys, on your way out, if you would do us a favor, hit that like button. It helps out the channel and the algorithm for the podcast, for the Frisco Report. We do appreciate it. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already, bro.
No, absolutely. No, some behind-the-scene bloopers, right? So I don't know the topics till like 2 minutes before we go live, right? And Joe's knocking down these topics, and I love talking football. So we got on the topics of Jason Peters and all that stuff, and I was like to start rambling about Jason Peters, how we need continuity and all this. He's like, no, save it for the show. And I'll talk all day long if you let me, but that's behind the scenes stuff. I think you guys deserve to know that. You're always sticking right here at the Frisco Report. But Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube, _Cowboys Corner on Twitter, guys. So follow up. I follow back. Hope to see you guys in my comment section on my next video.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate you having as my co-host. And everybody in the chat box, we do appreciate you and all the super chats tonight. We appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week, hopefully with another win under our belt. Either way, we will be here to talk about it, and we'll see how it goes the rest of the way, guys. Shout out to all you guys. Pound that like button on your way out. Peace out, everybody.